Of course, reacting to all that, their first response to President Trump's tariffs, the Ministry of Commerce saying it's imposing duties on US products from steel and aluminium to fruit and wine, having earlier said China will defend its interests. Our correspondent Tom Mackenzie is joining us from Beijing. Tom, Wilbur Ross expected a measured response. Is this being regarded as indeed that?
Well, it's not a major pushback from China, but it is a shot across the bows, $3 billion versus that $60 billion that Trump was talking about, and targeting areas that are unlikely to cause inflationary impacts here in China. So things like pork, China has a lot of pork being produced this year, so it shouldn't have a big effect there. But it will impact, of course, some of the agricultural producers over in the US. So 25% tariff on US pork, 15% tariff on things like fruit and wine and steel as well. So an impact there on California. And as you said, the Commerce Department here, the Commerce Ministry saying that they wanted to avoid a trade war, but that China was not afraid of a trade war. They said that we were heading towards and was warning Washington not to go towards a dangerous situation, as they called it. And China is also trying to take these measures to the WTO. They want to work through it using the World Trade Organization process. And they've called for dialogue as well with Washington to try to de-escalate. But clearly, China does have other measures up its sleeve that it could resort to if Trump, as he suggested, adds additional tariffs beyond these.
You talk about other tricks up its sleeve. How far would Beijing be willing to go?
Well, the key for Beijing really is a concern around these measures to restrict further investment in the US markets and then to give additional powers to CFIUS. So those measures, if they were implemented and implemented toughly or rigidly by Trump, could cause concern. It could cause, an escalation from the Chinese side. And so they could look then at further measures around agricultural imports. And we've talked a lot about soybeans. That's one area. But also, of course, technology. So companies like Apple and Intel, and of course the big one, Boeing, when it comes to aircraft. And it will underline for some here in China the need to speed up the development of their own aircraft producer, which is something they're trying to do. And again, it underlines and underscores the need for many here to escalate their Made in China 2025 and the importance of having their own industrial giants around things like artificial intelligence and electric vehicles. The question is whether or not they can upgrade the economy without relying on US technology. The view from many here is that they are unable to do that at this stage. They still need that US expertise. But yes, China does have additional measures up its sleeve. One area described by one analyst as a nuclear option would be the selling down of US treasuries or the weakening of the renminbi. It doesn't look like we're close to that at this stage, but that is also an option that China could resort to, but probably in the later stages of this trade tension that we're seeing.